There's a kind of pain that doesn't show up on any X-ray. It's the pain of looking around and feeling like you're being left behind. You wake up early, work hard, try to do everything right, and still, somehow, it seems like everyone else is moving faster than you. Some already bought their houses, others started their own businesses. A few are traveling the world, and you can't help but wonder, where did I go wrong? Comparing yourself is like drinking poison in small doses. With every sip, something inside you gets sick. You stop noticing your own growth because your eyes are fixed on someone else's garden. But what if I told you there's an ancient Japanese philosophy that can heal you from that? A teaching that not only helps you stop comparing, but teaches you how to become incomparable. The Japanese call it obaitori, a quiet lesson about time, beauty, and blooming. And once you truly understand what it means, you'll never see your life the same way again. In Japan, there's an old expression, obaitori. It comes from 4 trees that bloom in spring: uma, plum; bai, apricot; to cherry; and ra, pear. Each one blossoms at a different time with its own color, fragrance, and shape. None tries to rush the other. None competes. Each simply blooms when its time comes. The Japanese look at these trees and see a deep truth about life. There's no single right pace for growth. In the West, we're taught from a young age to measure worth by speed: who arrived first, who achieved more, who shined earlier. But in the East, time isn't a race. It's a dance. They believe that forcing a bloom is the same as killing its beauty. While the Western world glorifies those who win early, Japan honors those who wait for the right moment. That's what obaitori teaches us. Comparison is a form of violence against your own soul. Because when you try to bloom like someone else, you forget that your roots are different. Your soil is unique, and your sun rises in its own time. The wisdom of obaitori isn't about giving up on your dreams. It's about accepting life's rhythm and trusting that your season will come, even if it takes longer, even if it seems far away. And when it comes, it will be as beautiful and unique as the flower you were created to be. The first thing you need to understand is this: comparison is a subtle form of ingratitude. Not out of malice, but because when you look too much outward, you stop seeing the blessings within. Imagine a samurai who, instead of training with his own sword, spends his days watching others' techniques. He might admire their skill, but if he never practices his own strikes, he'll remain weak, not for lack of talent, but for lack of focus. Obaitori is the opposite of that. It's the reminder that your rhythm is your dojo, and patience is your most noble discipline. When you learn to honor your own timing, anxiety begins to lose its grip. Not because life suddenly becomes easier, but because your vision becomes wiser. You stop chasing time and start walking alongside it. There's something few people ever realize. Comparison doesn't come from hatred toward others. It's born from the fear of not being enough. It's the fear that your flower will never bloom, that your story will never shine. But the most dangerous thing about comparison is that it steals your inner silence, that sacred space where your spirit finds clarity and strength. It's in stillness, not in haste, that the warrior is forged. The second lesson of obaitori is simple yet powerful. Consistency defeats the calendar. The Japanese believe that time becomes the ally of those who persevere quietly. Think of the bamboo. It spends years growing downward before it ever appears above the ground. While the world calls it slow, it's actually preparing to bear its own weight when it rises. And when it finally breaks through the soil, it grows meters in just a few weeks, because it's ready. You too are growing roots right now, even if no one can see them. And maybe that's the most freeing truth of all. No one can bloom for you, but no one can stop your blooming either. You don't have to be the fastest, the smartest, or the most recognized. You just need to be whole. While the world rushes, be like the monk who sweeps the temple each morning, slowly, silently, with presence. Time doesn't rush him because he already understands that every stroke of the broom brings him closer to inner perfection. If you want to practice Ubaitori, start by shifting your focus. When someone achieves something, instead of thinking, "Why not me?" say, "If it was possible for them, it's possible for me too." Turn comparison into inspiration. Admire others' flowers without uprooting your own. That's humility and wisdom. The third lesson is about acceptance. Not the passive kind, born of resignation, but the active acceptance of someone who understands that time is an invisible ally. When you embrace time as your partner, you begin to see that every apparent delay is actually training. Failure teaches patience. Waiting teaches faith. Scarcity teaches creativity. Nothing is wasted when you learn to see the hidden purpose behind each season. And finally, remember this. In Japan, there are gardens where flowers are planted so that they never bloom all at once. That's intentional. They believe that this way, beauty renews itself continuously. In the same way, your life doesn't need to bloom all at once. Balance lies in blooming little by little, season by season, lesson by lesson. Ubaitori isn't about being better than anyone. It's about becoming impossible to compare. Because when you live with authenticity, your life stops being a competition and becomes a work of art. You might say, but it's impossible not to compare. The whole world runs on metrics, likes, and numbers. And you're right. The modern world trains you to do exactly that. But Ubaitori doesn't ask you to abandon the world. It simply invites you to shift your focus. You don't need to quit social media or isolate yourself to live by this philosophy. All it takes is a change in the way you see. When you witness someone prospering, instead of feeling pain, practice silent respect. When you see someone moving faster, practice presence. The secret isn't to erase the other person. It's to not lose yourself while looking at them. Ubaitori fits perfectly into the life of someone who works, studies, dreams, and fails. It fits in a coffee break, in the pause between one goal and the next, in those moments when your heart demands too much of you. You don't need extra time, only awareness. And every time comparison tries to take over, remember this. Flowers don't look sideways. They only turn toward the sun. Ubaitori isn't just a beautiful idea to recall when everything's going well. It's a sword to carry through the days when you doubt yourself. It's the reminder that time hasn't forgotten you. It's shaping you. While you watch others bloom, perhaps what God or destiny is doing is strengthening your roots for something greater. And when your time comes, there will be no room for comparison, because you will be one of a kind. Blooming in your own time is an act of faith and courage. And if you've made it this far, maybe you're finally ready to stop running and start growing. Remember, the samurai doesn't seek to be better than another warrior, only better than he was yesterday. That's the true inner victory. If this message spoke to you, subscribe to the channel. Every week, there's a new video to help you grow with wisdom, purpose, and peace. Until next time, and never forget, your blooming will happen at the perfect time.